to help us make sense of today's ruling and the decision to release Jacob Zuma on medical parole, having that set aside, let's speak tonight to Accountability Now Director, Advocate Paul Hoffman. Advocate Hoffman, always great to have you on News at Prime. So the breaking news, as we've been saying tonight, is that the Correctional Services Department and Jacob Zuma both intend to appeal today's High Court judgment. Your reaction?
They can appeal all they like, Tembakili. Good evening, and good evening to your viewers as well. The judgment is jurisprudentially sound, and it will withstand, in my opinion, any attempts by any party to appeal it.
So the argument remains from, at least from the Jacob Zuma legal team, that he is ill, he is a man of advanced age, 79, 80, roundabout, and that correctional services would simply not be able to offer him the care that he needs. Are we in this situation because the former commissioner for correctional services relied on the wrong grounds for his decision, or is it because there's just not enough evidence of Zuma's medical condition being so bad that it warrants a release?
Yes, what the law requires is that he be terminally ill, and that is not the criterion that has been applied by Arthur Fraser. And the Medical Parole Advisory Board has also said that he is not so sick that he should be put on medical parole. So in essence, Fraser has overruled the experts, and the judge has quite correctly taken a dim view of the way that Fraser has exercised his role. The difficulty, and it's a difficulty that occurs again and again, is that too many people in South Africa who are put into positions of power think that they can exercise that power arbitrarily and capriciously and at their own whim simply because they are in the seat of power. That is not how constitutional democracy works. In a constitutional democracy under the rule of law, decision-making has to be rational, and it has to serve a legitimate purpose of government. Now, this man who's too sick to stay in jail is able to organize prayer meetings on Zoom, he's able to write a book, and he's able to spend 5 hours in a casino in Durban. Now, that doesn't add up to a person who is fitting the criteria for a medical parole. That law was tidied up after Shabir Sheikh made a nonsense of medical parole in the previous incarnation of the legal framework.
And in reacting then to this news today, another Jacob Zuma supporter, also a member of the ANC, Carl Niehaus, said it's further proof of a captured judiciary that is pursuing Zuma as part of a nefarious motive, as it were. Your response to that?
That is utter poppycock, and it must be taken from whence it comes. The suggestion that there is a captured judiciary simply because the rule of law is correctly applied to a set of facts that are placed before a judge on review is really ludicrous in the context of what we have in this case. The real question at the moment is whether any of the three applicants in the matter will apply for the judgment to be executed while any appeal proceedings are pending. That will be an interesting argument. The appeal argument is doomed to fail.
And the question, of course, as we sit here tonight with these appeals going back and forth, is about whether the former president will be home for Christmas, as you say, or in a prison cell. Whichever way it swings, there's likely to be some sort of reaction in society, isn't there?
Yes, clearly the former president is a high-profile player, and he is able, because of his double, he was voted 2 terms of the presidency of South Africa. So it's not as though he's just another prisoner. But in South Africa, we have a constitution. We are all equal before the law, and he needs to be treated in exactly the same way as any other prisoner in his position should be treated. And that means that the law must be applied to his medical condition, not the whim of the mob that is capable of doing the things that we saw in July this year.
Advocate Paul Hoffman, good to speak to you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Advocate Hoffman is Director at Accountability Now.